What do you get when you mix Journey and Dark Souls together? Well, you get Ashen. Ashen is an indie Souls-like title developed by Studio A44, released on December 7th, 2018. And it's only taken me all these years to finally play it. Just recently, I purchased the PlayStation Premium package, and along with it came access to a bunch of different games, one of which was Ashen. Seeing that I never tried it out before, I thought I'd give it a go. When I first jumped into the game, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little thrown off by the overall sluggish feeling movement and lack of variety in how you start a character, since there's no starting classes and the customization is minimal. Overlooking these minor flaws, I decided to trudge on, and I found that I actually came to like this game quite a bit. The music is very soothing and calming, similar to Majula's music from Dark Souls 2, and suspenseful when it needs to be. The combat is relatively simple, nothing that'll stress me out immensely. You have one one-handed weapon, one two-handed weapon, some spears, a shield, and a lantern. Each weapon features a light and heavy attack, with the heavy attacks varying from weapon to weapon, and the stats between each one make it so that any weapon is viable. In the top left corner, you can see the game's accrued currency, Scoria. In Ashen, there is no leveling up. However, you can still upgrade your character by both completing main quests and side quests. Each quest rewards you with plus 15 health or stamina upon completion, as well as adding new crafting tables to further enhance your character and their abilities, giving you things such as new potions, flask potency for healing, number of flasks you can use, and upgrading your weapons, of course. One of my favorite aspects of the game is actually a double-edged sword in a way. The multiplayer allows for co-op through Ashen's story. However, it's kind of hard to connect with actual people. Since there's no real matchmaking option, the method that Ashen uses is pressing up on the D-pad to beckon a person to your world. So for the most part, I've been playing with an AI companion, and I really enjoy the old school co-op feeling that I get. For example, if I lose all of my health and I go down, instead of dying right off the bat, my partner can come to my aid and heal me, bring me back into the fight. I really appreciate that, especially in a Souls-like title, and it helps keep the combat fun and lessens up on the tediousness of it. Another thing is kind of like an Army of Two style boosting mechanic. If you need to get to a certain area that's a little bit too high for your character to climb naturally, you can propose a boost. Nothing crazy, but I just like to have stuff like that in a game. Another plus, in my opinion, is the game's movement. Of course, you can move forward, backward, left and right, and you can dodge omnidirectionally, but they also include a jump button and a mantle button. The game relies heavily upon verticality and uses that to encourage exploration in nooks and crannies that you wouldn't have previously found in other Souls-like titles. For example, something that I forgot to mention earlier is that you can find feathers that also improve your character. Now, as of the publishing of this video, I have not yet beaten Ashen, but what I can say about the story so far is that it is as rich and full of depth as the actual Dark Souls series. There's a bunch of lore, there are a bunch of different characters that have a bunch of different side quests, stories, motivations, personalities, that it truly does feel like a successor to the Souls-like franchise. In order not to spoil the game for anyone that would like to play it in the future, I'm not going to be showing any bosses, but I would still like to talk a little bit about them. So far, the bosses that I have encountered haven't been the most revolutionary experiences, however, they were still fun to fight. I enjoyed figuring out their weaknesses, maneuvering through the intricate arenas, and ultimately winning the fight. I did wish that there was a little bit more spectacle. From the ones I've seen, it was a little bit cut and dry. Speaking about difficulty, let's talk about the difficulty of the game and the progression in that sense. When you start off the game, obviously you go through the tutorial area and everything is fine and dandy. All the enemies are relatively easy to fight. You aren't going to encounter much of a challenge. However, as I progressed through the game a little bit more and I got into the later areas, I did notice that there was at one point on the way to one of the bosses a large difficulty spike. The enemies were incredibly powerful and numerous in quantity. Whenever I entered the dungeon, not only was the dungeon itself incredibly long with no checkpoint, the enemies would slap me around like I was wearing a tissue paper as a piece of armor. Now, on a lighter note, let's talk about Vagrant's Rest, a homestead that you find and claim towards the beginning of the game. The way that it works is as you progress through the game, you will find new characters, and as you complete their quests, they will join your town and add to the settlement. So, slowly but surely, you'll see buildings pop up all around the town. You'll see the townsfolk hammering away at wooden poles. And by the time you've completed quite a few quests, you'll see full-scale houses with cozy interiors and the citizens of the town lounging around, reveling in their comfort. Personally, it's something I really enjoy seeing throughout the game. It gives me Assassin's Creed 3 Homestead flashbacks, where you build up a rapport with your followers, and it helps add some attachment. It makes you feel as if you have something actually at risk, so that you need to protect it. You have people that look up to you for helping them out of the dark. Ashen is linear in the same way that Dark Souls 3 is linear. Huge open worlds to explore, but it all goes in the same direction with no real main deviation. In Dark Souls 1, you start off at the Firelink Shrine, and from there you can go wherever you want. In Ashen, it's a bit more point A to point B, but I feel that the variety and unique qualities of each area help make up for the linearity. Now at this point, I've gone over pretty much everything, and a lot of you may be asking yourselves, should I play Ashen in 2023? I think the main issue that I would present to people before playing this game is that the multiplayer community is definitely not as lively as it was at the start. If you have a friend that you've been meaning to play this game with, that's perfect, but if not, I would say be prepared to play most of the game with an AI. But other than that, Ashen, in my opinion, is a fun, fresh take on the Souls-like genre, and I know for a fact that I'm going to be replaying this game many more times. What did you guys think about the video? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and check me out on all my socials, and I will catch you in the next one. Deuces.